Yeah, close enough.
Connect you.
Yeah, and then what about you?
Just wolfman.com for you, right?
Right, yeah, the beard.
The Beard. That's a good name for a horror film.
The Beard. Well, it's a Steeler. That's Brett Kiesel. So now we're talking about my hometown. He is the Beard. Fear the Beard. It's a whole marketing movement.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so tell me, Freddy versus Jason, who you pick?
I'm a Jason man.
Okay.
Like to win or like just...
Yeah. Or like fave, whatever.
I just like...
I don't know.
You like Jason better?
Yeah, I pick Jason too.
Yeah?
He's the strong, silent type. That's what I go for.
You feel safe with him?
Totally. Yeah. I feel like a night by the lake. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
When I saw Freddy vs. Jason, I was pulling for Jason Voorhees the whole time.
And so you're a Jason guy too?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Jason Voorhees sweeps it. What else you got?
Tell me Wolfman versus Dracula. Oh.
Probably Dracula for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I would go with Dracula also. Actually.
Really? I would go Wolfman. We got to talk about this.
All right, why do you go Wolfman?
Stronger.
Because of your
It's
beard?
election
More
season.
primal. Yeah, I'm obviously wolfish. Honestly, like he's more primal. I think he's stronger. We're talking about while he's transformed, obviously.
Interesting thing. I just watched Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Right. It's a top 100 all-time movie, they say. But in this crazy zany comedy with all these monsters, Dracula and Wolfman are chasing each other around the whole time. Actually, it's Wolfman chasing Dracula, and the final scene, spoiler, is Dracula finally, in an attempt to escape, jumps up on the railing outside of the castle, morphs into a bat in one of the earliest monster special effects in Hollywood history.
Nice.
And as he starts to fly away, the Wolfman leaps, grabs the bat, and they both plummet and fall to their death on the rocky cliffs below.
Or do they? I've seen them in movies since. Why wouldn't Dracula just turn into a wolf and fight the Wolfman?
If he did that, I think that the werewolf monster is traditionally more supernatural and stronger than the vampire wolf.
What if Dracula turned into a bat and just kept dropping junk on him?
Like one of
But
them?
Dracula... Well, I guess they both have...
Why would you guys choose Dracula?
They both have super healing powers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess that they would wound each other.
Do vampires have super healing powers?
Well, they can't be killed.
Yeah.
So
they can be though. You can cut their heads off.
Did you ever see Blade?
Well, if you cut anybody's head off, they're done.
Right.
Not zombies.
Pretty
You gotta
much.
destroy the brain.
Yeah.
They can still bite you.
I don't know. I know.
that's
I
true.
probably know more about Dracula. I mean, I've seen plenty of Wolfman stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now if you bring in Teen Wolf, now you throw me into...
Yeah, because he
Wolf.
can dunk on Dracula.
You can totally dunk on him. And what if Dracula versus Teen Wolf basketball?
Teen
Oh,
Wolf.
yeah.
No
Oh, yeah.
question.
And Styes with the beer.
Also, because there's no way that even if Dracula's a bat, he could carry the basketball into the net. Like, so...
That's true. He could hypnotize Teen Wolf, though.
Could he?
I don't know.
Okay.
Surfing
I mean, I'm
USA.
interested.
We should go wolf surfing.
Okay. Mike Myers versus Jigsaw. Michael Myers, Halloween.
Jigsaw from the Saw movies.
Yep. Michael Myers, Halloween.
Oh, I
What do
hate
you like?
Jigsaw. I hope Michael Myers kills him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I hope it's completely unironic, straightforward, and he just stabs him. I don't know, no tricks.
Yep.
No, like, weird stuff.
I wrote a post once a couple years ago about how bad modern technology would have ruined movies, would have ruined horror movies.
Yeah.
And someone in the comments section was just like, yeah, like if Mike Myers popped out, just like run outside and text everybody, like, don't go in the house, LOL, you know. It would like
But
really
then
solve a lot of
you have the
problems.
kids that were like, what's in the house? I want to go see it. I mean...
Yeah, it's interesting to think about how cell phones have changed this movie. But I'm Mike Myers on that.
Okay. I would be also, yeah, hands down.
Jigsaw's the worst.
Yeah. Unless you give me time to plan, and I don't know how you plan.
I've actually
Myers,
never,
like,
I've actually never seen any of those movies. I just from what I know of them.
I enjoyed the first one a lot, and then the law of diminishing returns kicked in immediately.
Immediately as the credits roll.
Yeah, it's like,
Saw 34 was just dumb.
yeah, they really strayed from the initial concept.
When they stopped bringing in the actors from The Princess Bride, the quality went downhill immediately.
Yeah, that's true.
Candyman versus Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice or Candyman. Candyman can.
I would rather hang out with Beetlejuice.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. He might make Candyman dance.
Yeah, like I would. He has skills.
I think I have to go Beetlejuice. Certainly, if you're talking about scarier, obviously Candyman. But I'm gonna go Beetlejuice because I just enjoyed him as a youth. Also, it's Winona Ryder, who I kind of crushed on pretty hard for a long time.
I think the problem is that Candyman is your traditional horror figure and Beetlejuice is a cartoon. Like,
Was he a cartoon first?
No. I mean, he is basically
I
a
see what you're
cartoon.
saying.
He's like a live cartoon.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay.
Like, he's like Bugs Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying who would win,
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny or Godzilla.
Yeah. Obviously Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny always.
Yeah. Because that's the rule in cartoons.
Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
He wins.
Yeah.
He wins all the time.
I understand. That's fair. Okay. Strike it from the record. Unfair question. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
It's a good
No,
question.
who would you choose though?
Yeah, I think I'd choose Beetlejuice because I don't know that there's anything that Candyman could do especially if it's set in the Beetlejuice universe, that he would not be able to circumvent.
I would just like to say I think the Candyman can.
And there was no calypsoing in Candyman.
Now, they could both be taken out by a sandworm.
Sandworms are tough.
So,
Are you talking from Tremors?
no,
From
and then
Beetlejuice.
what they're called in Beetlejuice, the big...
Yeah, I remember
Oh
that scene.
yeah.
Although we did.
Now, if we're talking about
Tremors.
Tremors worm versus the sandworm.
Well, you gotta go Tremor one.
Tremors 1 or Tremors 2?
Or Tremors 3, or Tremors 4.
The dad from Family Ties,
Yeah.
Michael Gross. What was his name?
Michael
Michael Gross.
Yeah, you're right. He was in all 4 of them.
Was he?
Yeah.
Spoiler.
In the 4th one, he plays
He
his
totally
ancestor.
dies in the first one.
In the 4th one, he plays his ancestor?
Yeah, it's
Does it
back
take
in
place
time.
in the past?
Yeah, it's a prequel.
You have to be the leading
Well,
authority.
There were
on
so
Tremors
listen. There were a
4.
lot of
No one
unanswered-
even knows there are 4
I
Tremors.
didn't even know there were 3.
Yeah. Listen, someone in this room may or may not have bought the value pack at Walmart. Okay?
Wait, you shop at Walmart?
Not anymore. That's the scariest part of this interview. Okay, so we're going to do a thing a little bit where we're going to give you some movie recommendations because it's scary movie time of the year. So we're going to start out easy with, we're going to have 3 levels. We're going to have Marinate and Laughter.
Not scary at all.
Not scary at all.
Marinate and laughter.
And then we're going to talk about films that might make you marinate in a nervous sweat. So like a medium level of scary. And then, if you're up for it, films that may in fact make you marinate in your own shame.
Like JR.
Like I did.
Staring at the closet.
Yeah, we already know what mine is, but
And
so
then you tried to hedge and say you were almost an adult. You were a full grown.
You were
I
an
was,
adult.
I was.
Yeah.
I was.
22-year-old men should not be afraid of the monster in the closet.
No, especially not when it's a little girl. So, I would say that a great, fun movie, if you just want some laughs, is a movie from the 80s called The Monster Squad. I've seen it probably a dozen times. It's great. It's a complete rip-off of The Goonies, but it's tremendous fun.
I've got to see this now. I
I'm
don't
telling
know
you.
Monster Squad. What
It's
year?
great.
Was it in the 80s
Oh,
anytime?
Probably.
Well, after 86 then.
Yeah, it was probably the late 80s. I mean, I saw it. I caught it on USA in the afternoon on Saturday. It's like, again, probably a dozen times. So,
Interesting.
what about you guys?
What's your marinate and laughter?
Well, it's not really funny and it's not a movie, so I'm not answering the question, actually. But you know, if you want something that's not scary but is an interesting, you know, interesting monster story, I think Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the original novel, is really interesting.
You mean reading a book?
Yeah, it's not frightening at all, and it has a lot of interesting questions about the creator who creates something that's damaged, and the relationship between creator and creation, and the desire to be taken from something that's broken to be fixed, and sort of the frustration and anger that comes out of that. It's a great book, and it won't give you nightmares at all.
You should write.
I don't
more.
think.
You should write more about that. I actually really was digging that.
I was going to say, if we're talking about books that are not scary but deal with monsters, I would think that Night of the Living Dead Christian is scary.
I wanted to suggest my own book, but
By Matt Mikalatos.
It makes you laugh.
It does.
What about you?
It puts the gory in allegory.
Excellent.
Nice.
Nicely done.
My Marinate and Laughter film is actually, before he made Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson made a movie called Frighteners with Michael J. Fox before he had Parkinson's.
Great movie.
So that's 2 Family Ties references in 3 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, and Frighteners it's like really funny in the beginning, and then it actually takes a creepy turn, and you can see, you know, Jackson had this ability. It's got Jake Busey, who plays this really creepy ghost, and it incorporates like hauntings and serial killer story, and it's kind of like a fun but scary but quality movie that probably a lot of people haven't seen.
Yeah.
Frighteners.
That's good.
So let's talk about a movie that might make you marinate in a nervous sweat. So you're going to be scared, but it's probably going to stick with you. You're going to be thinking about it later. Maybe some good scares. Mine would be, I already mentioned it, The Descent. Great monster movie. Got a lot of great moments that'll make you jump out of your seat, especially the first time the monsters are revealed. Just awesome.
Super suspense moments.
Yeah.
Just
incredible.
they drag it out. There's some Hitchcock knowledge
Yeah.
in that one, I think.
So it's great. And again, like it ends and you think about it, but it doesn't stay with you in a frightening way. So
yeah, I think for me probably Prometheus, which you know, it's a science fiction horror movie. It's gory more than frightening. It's got those moments that'll, yeah, your hands will get sweaty and you'll be nervous, but it's not something that'll give you nightmares unless you're really afraid of aliens, in which case
maybe don't see it.
yeah, it's not for you. But, and again, it's actually really similar to Frankenstein in some ways, where it deals with this question of, is there a creator? Does the creator care about us? And, you know, why do horrible things happen? So it's interesting, thought-provoking, and also, you know,
There's some truly
keeps you connected for sure.
truly horrific moments in it.
I haven't seen it. I'm the odd man out in Prometheus discussion. I missed a lot of movies this year.
And it is, I mean, just, again, it's gory. It's gory.
Yeah.
If you can't stand
Goo,
blood,
Goo!
people, spoilers that I'm not going to share now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well, you
it's
haven't even
gross.
shared it with me.
I would.
It's gross.
I know there's a
in
crazy
places.
scene that I need to expect.
It's comparable to the first Alien film, if you've ever seen that. Like that, it had a lot of gore and
Which
a
was
lot
also
of
Ridley Scott, right?
suspense. Correct.
Yeah. It's science fiction gore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
I
about
got
you?
to see that one.
Nervous sweat.
So my marinade is nervous sweat is The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yeah.
So I've been telling you guys about Scott Derrickson.
Oh, wonderful.
He is now, I think, moving into the big leagues with his new movie Sinister, which is doing really well. It's getting responded to great all over. And so Derrickson made this movie in 2005, and it is just freaky, but it also pulls you back into a courtroom setting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time to calm down. But again, this is another night after we watched it. Somehow we ended up outside in the dark. Now I was a grown man with adult friends. We decided to chase each other around, and we all got scared again. I don't know. But The Exorcism of Emily Rose, really quality film. It raises some great supernatural discussions, and it sounds like the Motorcycle Gang from Weird Science is here.
Yeah. I would echo Clay. It's an astounding film if you've never seen it, and you can handle some scary scenes.
Yeah, we got to see Sinister and see how that plays out.
Well worth it. That is one of my favorite all-time horror films.
So that's it. So what's next?
The last one, this is it. This is if you want to marinate in shame, if you just can't take it. I would say, first of all, you already know this, watch The Ring. So scary. But I would add to that, there's a new film out. You can find it on demand, and then you might be able to find it in a theater near you called VHS. It's a horror film anthology, so it's five.
It looks so terrible. Terrifying.
We watched the trailer together, the three of us, and Clay and I were like, we don't want to watch that. That looks super scary.
My wife and I watched it, and we love to be scared. And
family time.
Yeah, it's good. We had the kids in. No,
that does not appeal to me. I mean, I guess sometimes it's just too much.
I feel creeped out right now from watching the trailer.
Yeah,
for that
and
movie.
thinking about it. Yeah. So it's really
You will
scary.
marinate your shame.
And the nice thing about it is all of the individual pieces of the anthology have a different thing. So there's a slasher one, there's a monster one, there's a lot of suspense. So it kind of doesn't matter what scares you.
Yeah.
You're going to be scared by
There's
something
to terrify everyone.
Really well done. So, what about you?
Well, you know, guys, I think I have a much lower scare tolerance than you guys overall. So I would say for me, like, the upper limits of where I'd like to go is probably The Grey, which, you know, is a story of these guys who get stranded essentially off in the Alaskan wilderness, and gigantic wolves start hunting them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically the story, and it's unrelenting. it is frightening, and yes, it was scary enough that I won't say who, but someone I went to the movie with had to sleep with the lights on. That night, in case a wolf came into their house.
Shameful.
So,
yeah, very shameful.
Yeah. So, and I'm not that I would have slept with the light on if my wife would have let me, but she can't sleep with the light on. So But yeah, no.
And she wasn't about to tolerate that for you.
No, it's one of those things you start walking through your house and you're like, was that a dog barking? What?
Or was it a giant killer wolf?
Or it could have been. And it might be in the hallway.
And how do you know? Like, you don't.
You don't know until it's on you.
Yeah. And by then it's way too late.
It's far too late.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, there have been a couple episodes of The Walking Dead when I was watching by myself, still living alone.
Yeah.
They did kind of freak me out. But now, and I might think later on of a better one. But I remember The Grudge. And a lot of people said that
This
Grudge...
is the Japanese one, right?
Yeah.
Based on
Remake,
Japanese?
yeah,
right.
Remake, just like the remake.
Ju-on.
And it had Sarah Michelle Gellar and the freakiest ghost just ever. And I remember a lot of people were like, that movie was stupid, that movie wasn't even scary. And those are the people who go to the theater and talk the whole time so they don't watch the film, or they just like avoid it and laugh to pretend like it's not terrifying, and it is. And I watched The Grudge by myself, and it was one of those times of the day when I started it during daytime, and by the time the movie ended, it had become nighttime, but I hadn't turned any lights on in the house.
Yeah.
And so, I was pretty rattled, but I decided, test of manhood. So, I was going to try to walk through my entire house all the way in the dark, just to see if I could overcome the mental anguish of it. I lived in a house that had no street lights, so there was no light coming into this house. And I did. I remember I tiptoed all the way to the kitchen, and then I was going so slow I freaked myself out even more. So I finally ran to the end of the hallway, touched the wall, and turned on the lights. Like I was really being put to this by somebody. But I just wanted to know that I could overcome the terror of that moment.
JR, that's good. Like, next time you're lying in your bed afraid of the closet, you should do something like, what if I just got up, opened the door,
closet.
went inside the closet, and closed it just for a minute? How do you feel about that?
I'm in a nervous sweat right now. Just imagining that.
Marinated in your shame.
Marinated in shame right now. You guys called me out on that.
And the best news is that this will be on the internet, so
I can't
anybody
wait.
can potentially find
in
it.
public. Yes.
It's pretty great.
Seriously, one of the great things about The Grudge as a horror film, and one of the reasons I think it works so well, Clay and I were talking about this earlier, is because I think the filmmakers, and I hope they did this intentionally, it seems like they did, they identified places where you're safe, traditionally where you're safe from monsters, and then they took those away in the film. So
what's an example of a place you're safe?
She's on a bus in the daylight.
With a bunch of people.
With a bunch of people. And the ghost appears in the window. Like, it gets... it just scares her. But that shouldn't be able to happen. Like, when you're watching a horror film, and it's daylight and you're in public, it has to wait until it's dark.
But then when she's alone,
you're alone.
She crawls under the covers.
Under the covers is the safest place from ghosts, scientifically proven. Nothing can get you under the covers. Yeah. It's sacred. It is a sacred, safe space.
For any children who are watching, I'm sorry. And also, you're fine under the covers.
And spoiler alert, the ghost gets her under the covers.
Spoiler alert, that should be like the name of this podcast.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that, again, once the terror had subsided, reflecting back on the film, it was a really intriguing
they took away the safe places.
Way to scare you.
Sounds like there should be the safe places. That would be like a good blog post or something. We could be real clever.
We take those away from people?
We'd be real clever. So we do blog and we do write in our own ways, and for whatever reason, we are the three guys who seem to really be into this whole combination of monsters and spirituality. And it's interesting, it's fun. I think it helps us think through things in a different way.
Yeah.
And if you're interested in thinking through things like that, or just continuing this discussion, two things for you. First of all, we want to know, what are your 3 levels of movies? So what is a movie that you would marinate in laughter, marinate in a nervous sweat, and what is your marinating in your own shame film? You can leave that in the comments. And also, if you want to follow up with any of us, we are on the internet, and you are on Twitter and blog at?
Yeah, JR Forasteros. At JR Forasteros on Twitter, jrforasteros.com.
Like anybody can spell that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. No one can spell.
Mikalatos either, right? I figured that.
But you can go to imaginaryjesus.com.
I'm at claywrites.com, WRITES, and I'm on Twitter at Morgan Undead. So
and my actual blog is mikalatos.com, which is M as in Mary, Ikalatos.com.
Mikalatos.
So this was fun. We're not going to be together very often, so here it is. I'm glad we took
Probably
the
just like
time.
once a week, right?
Yeah, right.
Just, yep.
Thousands of miles, however many thousands of miles America is, that's how far apart we are almost.
We're all moving to Japan, because apparently that's where scary movies are made.
So we can soil ourselves daily. There's a website, soilyourselfdaily.com. Alright, so have a happy horror season, everybody.
Yeah, and let us know what your movies are, because we're always looking for more movie recommendations.
Yes, what are your recommendations?
Or books.
Yeah, books, sure.
Oh, and also
TV
Clay
shows.
has a book called Undead, so get this too, and get Matt's book, and read them both.
Night of the Living Dead Christian.
Yeah.
ImaginaryJesus.com.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. We'll look forward to your comments. See you soon.
We're climbing through the internet.